your favorite scary movie?
Hello out there, UCR fan bam, especially the uncensored horror ghoulies out there. We thought we'd drop you a nice little present for Love Day. We're going to make this Valentine's Day a little bit bloody. That doesn't sound right, does it?
No.
I don't know, man.
Sounds like
Sounds about right for me.
We are going to discuss My Bloody Valentine, technically 3D or 2D. We've seen it.
I watched it in 2D
2009.
recently.
Now, did anyone actually see the movie in 3D? I did.
Yes, I did at the theatre.
I saw it in
I
cinemas.
wish I had.
And I've got the Blu-ray in 3D as well.
I think I do too. It's like the double version of it.
So the one that I watched before this was technically 3D. Like, you could tell what shots were the 3D.
Oh yeah, the shots are always still there.
Yeah.
Like, you know, the bits of chunks of people flying at the screen and stuff.
Yeah. And
So just
Pickaxes coming out.
before we even get into it, as always, spoilerific review. If you have not seen 2009's My Bloody Valentine,
What
there
are
will
you
be
doing?
spoilers. So make sure that you pause us, watch the movie, then come back to join the conversation. So, obviously, Luke and I have seen it when it came out. Katie, did you saw the movie when it came
I
out?
saw it when it came out, but I didn't see it in theaters. Fun fact about me, actually, when my husband and I first started dating, my first present from him was meant to be My Bloody Valentine because he knew I loved horror movies, but he could not find it. He was very disappointed, and he just comes in going, I had this really great idea. I was going to get you My Bloody Valentine because I know you love horror movies, but I really couldn't find it, and now I feel so bad because I've got nothing. And he keeps trying to do it, and it never works. But now it's on HBO Max streaming.
She still married him.
Look, you still bought the cow.
married the son of a bitch.
And you're repping merchandise today too, aren't you?
I am. This is actually from Fright Rags, local company out of Rochester, New York.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I love
this.
this. I love their stuff. It's just so expensive to import.
Oh, well, you know,
Oh.
if you're coming into the States anytime
Brookie,
Yeah.
have you seen this movie before? You're kind of like our newbie.
I didn't see
newbie's
it.
eyes.
Yeah, I didn't see it until recently. I'm talking like yesterday. Yeah, I know. Please
Happily,
don't
one of the
judge
easiest
me.
ones to find. Like it's actually on streaming here. It was great.
Well, yeah, it was very easy to find, and look, yeah, it was an experience.
It was
There's some
definitely
eye candy, hey. This is
There's
not bad.
Just a little.
eye candy.
It's
Just
got
a
some
little.
sweets.
I mean, I didn't mind at all.
Let's jump straight into it, okay? So obviously, it is a remake of the original Canadian film by the same title, My Bloody Valentine. The film starts on Valentine's Day 1997 when 6 miners are trapped underground with an explosion in Hannigan Mine. And all of this is actually told through the use of the title sequence, which was super... I forgot until watching again. It was super effective and got all that exposition out of the way in a spot where it's usually dead air. Like, it's like, oh, there's the moon, there's a bush, there's something else.
Yeah, it was really
Titles.
There's a moon.
They
There's a
actually
bush.
threw
Wow.
in some friends and families names from like the cast on there. I guess like it's one of the fun facts I found that they were just like they were throwing in their like family members' names in like the newspaper, and I thought that was kind of funny. Like that's a cute little shout out.
Yes.
Right?
So the titles revealed that Tom Hannigan, who is supernaturals, I can't speak today, Jensen Ackles, boom, was believed to be responsible for forgetting to vent the methane in the lines that caused the collapse of the mine, which then caused one crazy miner, Harry Warden, to go psycho and kill the other miners that were, stuck down there with him. Just a feel-good movie.
Yeah, he wanted to preserve the oxygen, so he killed the others.
This is all just happened in the opening titles. We got all of that exposition in under 3 minutes, pretty much, which is amazing for a Hollywood movie. We cut as the movie opens. We are 1 year later. Yeah, we are in a hospital, and we see Harry awakening from his coma and going on a spree. Now, this was rated R18 plus here in Australia. Harder, definitely for
on the streaming service, it's MA again, isn't it? Have they cut stuff? It's still R?
R18 plus, yeah. Which I believe is an NC-17 over there. Is it? I believe.
I thought it was rated R.
Okay. Anyway, so as you do, right? Oh wait, sorry. The very important victim. The nurse victim's heart was left in a candy box at the hospital.
Oh,
Seems to
I
be the
thought that was
killer's
sweet.
Seems to be the killer's motif.
Sentimental.
Sentimental. Meanwhile, the most impractical party in the world. Let's go to a abandoned mine shaft and party.
Remember when you killed all those people in the mine? Let's go there.
Yeah, let's go
Here's
there.
the thing. I'm wondering. It never really states. Are they underage? Are they not? Because when you're
They're in
underage,
high school still, aren't they?
I think so. Something like that.
Why else would they be drinking in the mine if they weren't underage?
Exactly. When you're underage, you'll find wherever you can to drink, man. You'll just go where it's easy to conceal.
I remember a few times when I passed out in a field, so it's fine.
Yep.
Mine
Cornfields.
shaft, easy. Yeah, 100%.
I'm just trying to think. Drank in some cornfields. Drank in I think it was like a gorge or something like that. I don't know. Just real wild place.
So Katie would have been at the mine, despite
Katie
that.
would have been at the mine.
Katie would have been
there. Katie would have probably died too.
But why would Tom want to go there after what happened? Like, honestly.
Because Tom.
So yes, we re-meet Tom. We meet his girlfriend Sarah,
played
and
by
their
Jamie
friends.
King.
Played by Jamie King, and they're friends. I don't know if they're really friends. Irene and Axel.
Jamie King is so underrated, in my opinion. I think she's a really great actress. I like what she does, and she's just very pretty without being like over the top pretty.
And of course, Axel is Dawson's Creek's own Kerr Smith, who played a nice boy on that show, but an asshole in every other thing he's done, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, because he was an asshole in Final Destination.
Yep,
Steve and I were discussing that. We were
he was
saying
an asshole in Riverdale. Like he was the evil principal in Riverdale.
we were saying the nice guys play the best assholes, apparently.
Yeah, so he was my avatar in high school. I was like, yes, gay will do. Thanks, Dawson's Creek. Who needs a little? I'm like, yes, I went to. I had a bit of an overnight makeover. Get some product in that hair. Get one of those little satchel bags. It was on like Donkey Kong. Get that makeover, sister. And yeah, as soon as we get to the party, we kind of bypass the PTSD. Like, you'll be right. Calm down.
No big deal.
And pretty much straight away, Moida.
Love it.
Moida.
That was, yeah.
Moida.
He didn't.
I'm a fan. I'm a fan. I would have loved to have seen that in 3D. Just that fucking spitting out at the screen at you.
I think Harry's just a little mad he wasn't invited. You know, you should be inclusive and invite people to the party.
Barely, though. He was in a coma. He probably didn't blip on their radar.
Harry Warner, very much reminiscent of Minor 49er from Scooby-Doo.
I'm sure he loves to hear that's how intimidating he is
happy
to you.
about it. So he very quickly gets rid of all the day players and leaves the actually not really. Axel, Irene, and Sarah escape. leave,
just barely.
leave Tom.
Woo!
Leave Tom. Yeah, let's leave poor Tom there with Harry. So,
Sarah, you didn't try that hard. I mean, you pushed, but you did. Did you really push?
Like, oh no, my boyfriend.
Oh God, no, my boyfriend. No.
So Sheriff Burke, of course, the one and only Mr. Tom Atkins, arrives to save the day. They pump Harry full of lead, and he's believed to be dead as he staggers away into the mine. You know, and then again, we jump forward another 10 years. So that's 11 years now. we are here.
I thought this movie did pretty good job at making those actors look fairly young in the opening, though, too.
I think it did pretty good on the exposition. I looked at how long the movie was, and I was like, oh my God, this is going to be forever. But then by the time it gets to this 10-year part, you're like, oh, okay, shit, we're going through this really. Like, we're here. We're in the main story. It's not like we're going to take forever to get there. So Tom's father has died, and obviously he has run off into the sunset after his horrible experience.
I'm like, what was that?
He was off into the distance. So he comes home to basically sell over the mine, which is upsetting pretty much everyone in the town because it is the lifeblood of the town. I was saying this to Katie before. This plot and just the setting and everything, it gives me really strong Twin Peaks vibes. If you replace like the sawmill with the mine, and I couldn't get past that the other night. Even the characters all knowing everyone's ins and outs, and everyone's private life. That's a public thing, but it's not really. It's like
I watched another movie recently that had vibes like this, and I don't really get the use of coal mines and stuff like that because it's dead. It really is. I know there are some industry, like I know it's still around in some states and some.
That's huge in Australia.
Well, it's dead here. There's not really much to it. It was Antlers. There was a coal mine in Antlers, and I'm just thinking, and this is like a 2022
but
movie.
Isn't that the whole metaphor for the dying of the old America and
I suppose, but I'm still just like in the 2000s, like pick something else. But I get it. I get what you're trying to do. Like that's the only thing keeping this town alive is the coal mine or the sawmill,
the past,
whatever.
and the past. You know what I mean? This is
off into the sunset.
Metaphor city. So yeah, Tom Jensen Ackles, obviously by this time hugely popular because of Supernatural, right?
Yeah,
he played one of the Winchester brothers.
Was Jamie King big by this point? Because I know she was in Not Another Teen Movie as Priscilla.
That wasn't her. Was it?
No,
that was Jamie Priestley.
That was
oh my
Priestley,
God!
mate.
What am I doing? Getting everyone mixed up.
Too many Jamies in the early 2000s. Jeffrey Dahmer.
We forgive you, but let's see what Jamie King was up to.
Wasn't it Gregory Dahmer? It was Gregory Dahmer.
It was Gregory Dahmer from Dahmer and Craig.
Yeah, Dahmer and Craig.
Oh my goodness!
So we have Axel, Mr. Kerr Smith, who, hello, Kerr can get it. Is now the sheriff. The big reveal is that Sarah has married Axel after Tom has run off.
But what is Axel doing?
Axel's a bad, bad man because he was sleeping with one of her employees, Megan,
the town tart.
Speaking of bad men, we have to talk about the one and only writer of this film, Mr. Todd Farmer, is a bad, bad man in this movie.
He was Frank the trucker, and he was not a nice boy.
Mean to Miss Irene.
Now, look, we need to give Miss Irene credit where credit is due. Sister was gnashed for days. We can't show you because I'll probably get flagged.
Oh yeah, that girl was naked.
She had high heels on. She was completely nude except for her pumps.
Running in those things.
She was high and tight, wasn't she?
Barely walk in those things in my prime.
But Katie, wait, can we quickly do our John Mellencamp for Todd and
What, right now?
A little ditty about Frank and Irene.
Anyway.
Wow.
So, yes,
I'll leave us have our fun. Come on.
Frank had been filming his encounter with Irene. Irene's not happy about it. Chases him down and throws a gun at him.
I mean,
Hit him in the nose.
I'm a little offended that you blew over the best part of that scene. The best part.
I'm in agreement with Katie.
Todd showed us his rear end.
I mean,
and it was a good one.
So we got to see full frontal. We had full frontal shots of Irene's coochie cooch, but there was no Frankenbeans, which would be your line now, Steve.
Well, I thought we could just re-release the movie as the Todd's Rod edition, but
The Todd's Rod.
We would have to ask the man himself if that footage exists.
Yeah, we need to talk. I know he has spoken about this before with us, saying it was pretty cold out, so maybe that's why he didn't want to show it.
But this sex scene was quite extensive. It would have been not so fun for those two guys to film. Like, I'm sure Betsy and Todd did not have a lot of fun in that scene.
No, I'm sure they didn't.
And I'm sure he didn't have a lot of fun after it either, because Todd gets a pickaxe through the head, which I believe is the head on his shelf in our last interview with him. So
I believe it is too.
I believe that is the head. And Irene, God love her, puts up a good fight completely naked.
She tried.
Sister tried to survive, but blood everywhere.
Than most. Give her that.
Yeah. Tom Hanniger, right? Hanniger Mines, yes. Tom Hanniger arrives.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Hanniger.
Yes.
Hanniger, yeah.
Yes.
Alison Hannigan arrives out of nowhere.
Buffy shows up.
Buffy does some awkward mumbling things for a while.
Willow.
Yeah, Willow.
Sorry. Willow showed up
and checks in, and see, even with the Twin Peaks thing, with the little person who runs it's just a very slightly off kilter world that they live in. Mm-hmm. She gets it pretty hard.
Now, I was going to say I didn't want to diminish the little person's role, but she got a big death.
She got a big death.
He picked her up with the damn pickaxe. Right in the ceiling.
There is a bloodbath at the hotel.
She should have stayed on the yellow brick road.
Tom is staying,
that's
Tom is staying.
Not nice.
The footage reveals the killer dressed as Harry Warden. And Axel receives a chocolate box.
Would you say he received a bloody Valentine?
Perhaps he did. Perhaps he did.
Oh, no.
Now,
so
I'm going to.
Good times.
I had this conversation with Luke the other night while I was watching the movie. I don't, it's not that Jensen Ackles is a bad actor at all. Brothers Hott can act. For the first half of this movie, I don't get he doesn't grab me. The other
he felt like he didn't fit.
He didn't fit. I find it hard to believe that a man of that stature, he wasn't a small reedy dude, is that bothered about anything really. He's I'm so hulky.
The brooding thing was so hot in the 2000s. Ooh.
Which okay, so
he was trying to be like Angel.
But let's put it into perspective. The other movies that were out in 2009, one of them just happened to be the remake of Friday the 13th, which starred who?
His co-star.
His co-star is Jared
Padalecki.
Jared Padalecki. So
they both picked a horror film each.
I don't know if it was picked. I wonder if it was, let's see who can be the leading man out of these two to spring from the show. Because you know that network TV is never really planning for, 16 seasons of a television show. They used to, or back in the day, especially with the WB, now the CW, they used to launch people's movie careers out of those shows. Michelle Williams, Katie, all those kinds of people, Joshua Jackson, Sarah Michelle.
Did Joshua Jackson really have a movie career, though?
Do you know what I mean?
Did he?
Joshua Jackson has done quite a lot. He's actually doing a lot more these days, isn't he?
He's back.
He's just in Dr. Death. Yeah, he's doing all right for himself. Did 5 or 6 seasons of The Affair.
Oh, what?
Fringe. He's done a lot. Yeah.
I think we should quickly talk too. Like, this movie looks really good. It's a $14 million budget, right? And it made nearly $120 million. It's bizarre that this is the one slasher that didn't get. Yeah. But
it was a really strange time for horror movies, because let me read you the other movies that were released this year. The Uninvited. Never saw it.
Terrible.
The Haunting in Connecticut.
Terrible.
Jennifer's Body.
Decent.
The Unborn.
Terrible.
It was
Triangle.
Really good. Really, really good.
The remake of Last House on the Left.
Terrible. J-Law, you just... Wait, no, that wasn't J-Law. That was someone else, but it was still bad.
Now, a movie that's actually getting a prequel coming this year, Orphan, came out that year as well.
I didn't mind Orphan.
Orphan
was what it was.
Halloween 2, Rob Zombie's Halloween 2.
Terrible.
Underrated.
So,
the Final Destination,
was
the last Final Destination movie up until the new one that's coming out.
Final.
Drag Me to Hell, the remake of The Stepfather.
Fantastic. We should be doing Drag Me to Hell.
Wait, there's a remake of The Stepfather?
Yes.
Yes. It had it was what it was. Let's just put it that way.
2.
That was shit.
Wrong Turn 3.
That was shit.
Yeah. So it was a very weird time. It was like kind of, I feel like it was between we'd done like remakes. This was like the last shout of the remakes that we're trying to get there. So I don't know about Jensen.
Brutal confession, guys. I'd never seen any of those movies Steve just said.
Let
me make the list a lot shorter for you. Watch The Orphan, Triangle, Drag Me to Hell. Done.
Message me later, Katie.
And Jennifer's Body you'd probably like. I mean, it is what it is. Okay, it's a Diablo Cody movie. It is what it is. It is what it is.
And then, of course, we have, more realistic horror. The one good movie that we haven't talked about was Cropsy. Was actually released in 2009 as well. If you haven't seen Cropsy and like a good creepy documentary, watch Cropsy.
It was so good.
Anyway, back to the film we should be talking about. We are wandering around back at the mine because we need to sign off papers for the mine. We're looking for Foley to sign off, sign the papers, mine sold, blah, 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 blah. For some reason, he has to go into the mine.
He goes into the mine because Sarah tells him to get over it, face your fears. Get over it.
Yeah, I know, but what? We just, it was a long time ago. We didn't believe in PTSD. You'll be right. Just go down into that atmospheric,
Listen,
tiny space.
No piece of ass is worth that kind of trauma. None.
So Tom's attacked in the mine by Harry and kills another miner when everyone miraculously appears to rescue him. So Axel reveals that Foley and Sheriff Burke found and killed Tom in the mine. So
they found and killed Harry.
Back in the day, Harry, back in the day, and his body was buried. His body was buried out in the forest somewhere.
So they just bumped him off, and got rid of him quietly.
the group visits the burial site to find it empty.
Dun,
So-
dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun. It looks as though Harry Warden is back literally from the dead. Searching in the
Blair
woods.
Witch 2 shit.
Yes.
Book of Shadows.
Oh dear.
Remember that in Book of Shadows.
Book of Shadows we can talk about another time.
We can do it another time, but I have some thoughts, but keep going.
That's all right. It's okay. So Tom starts searching the woods and finds the love shack. The love shack of Megan.
Where
and,
Axel's been
Axel.
pumping. Yeah.
And the miner kills Foley. Now, Kevin Tighe dies in a quite spectacular scene in his house.
Yeah.
Famous last words, y'all.
Oh, shit. all over Red Rover.
In that time that
Yeah.
Harry's like winding up to pound him into the pickaxe, he could have moved his head.
Yeah, look, he did try and dodge for a little while.
He tried.
So his body is subsequently dragged out into the woods and left in the grave. Which, great detective work. Axel realizes the killer must be one of the few people that are aware of the grave. You think? Like, I don't think they're paying the.
Sherlock.
I don't think they're paying the big bucks. And of course, everyone is suspecting Tom because he is the stranger. He's not from Roundosh Park.
Not anymore.
Now, debate me on it. This next part is probably the best part of the movie that happens in the the little supermarket where
Yeah.
Sarah and Megan are attacked.
It was fun.
Now, we're to believe that she was pregnant, right?
Which one?
Megan.
Yes.
Megan.
That's
Yeah.
what I got.
I
She's
got
going to a
that too,
doctor's
so-
appointment. She keeps touching her stomach a lot too.
Mm.
That's
In,
that's the vibe that I got out of it.
Right?
Yeah, I get that
okay.
too.
So wife and mistress are together. But Sarah still doesn't know at this point, does she? I think she has suspicions.
The wife
Well,
never.
she'd have to have
never knows.
suspicions. I mean, come on.
I thought I had. I'm trying to bring it up now. There
very-
was a screenshot of them. Yeah, there we go. During their chase
Yeah.
scene.
Very effective chase scene, I thought.
Yeah.
It was, it worked. Like when everything went, when the lights went out and Harry just appearing at the end of the aisle and them not quite seeing him. That was good horror. You know what I mean? That was well written, well shot, good horror. I was happy with. I was happy with.
I enjoyed it.
They get into the office. I don't know why she didn't press those alarms earlier, but that's okay.
No
People
joke.
panic, and then we finally think we get to safety when she's like, something's not right. She turns into Madeline, Miss Clavel from Madeline. Something is not right. And Megan gets dragged out the window and dispatched of.
Yeah, she got
Oh.
Quite
wrecked.
graphically.
It's
Ain't
yeah.
no baby coming out of that anytime
No.
soon.
I mean, if this movie gave you anything, it gave you the blood. It gave you the gore.
It gave you the blood. It did. So Axel has rescued his wife. Right? He's doing this is like a redemption story of Axel, I think, or something.
Something like that.
You know, something like that. So Sarah is in hospital when she discovers, someone else who's been attacked by Harry. Tom. They're like, "Oh, are you okay? I'm okay. Are you okay? Sexy times. Let's go out into the woods together."
Let's go back in the mine.
Meanwhile, poor Tom Atkins,
Oh.
Yeah, he
Gets
got
it.
wrecked too.
he gets it hard.
Oh.
Not
The
cute
death
for him.
scenes were so good in this movie.
Now,
That
this
was actually, I thought the suspense in that was good because there was a little kid in the house and with the female cop as well. And I thought they did it well, how it was shot. The build-up was, this is quite a good suspense film in some of its scenes. Like, I don't think it gets that credit at all. It was all about the 3D gimmick at the time. but there was some good stuff in there.
Yes.
And the naked chase scene, like, come on, they actually went and did that in 3D.
Look, I was all about the titties.
You know that they were bouncing in 3D, don't you?
I'm like, this is why I'm kicking myself. Why didn't I see this thing in 3D? I
You
mean,
can get the 3D Blu-ray, bubs. Just go out and get it.
Titties aren't in 3D. The titties are not in 3D.
They
did
are.
not.
They are heading out. Tom and Sarah head out to Axel's cabin when Axel rings his wife. This was actually quite good too. It was kind of like almost a Hitchcock moment where you're like, you're with the killer, but are you with the killer? Who knows what's going on?
Mhm.
I know.
It was very tense. Very tense.
Was.
Because Axel discovers that Tom has spent the last 10 years in a mental institution.
Dun dun dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
Which, you know, no stigma. He just went through some
stigma
shit.
of mental
No,
illness.
He had
Nothing-
PTSD
There's
big time.
nothing
You know,
wrong with him getting help. There was nothing wrong about him being
he was
in a mental
responsible for
hospital.
killing all those miners, and then he was attacked, and then he, you know, his girlfriend married his other friend. So, like, you know, trauma.
He's had a rough drop, poor little Jensen.
Mhm.
That's okay, because Sarah takes matters into her own hands, crashes the car, and heads into the mine after, you know,
It's just like
after
running
Harry
up the stairs.
seemingly is
you
after
doing
her. He's all about it. As
just don't
she's
get
down there with Tom,
I'm
Axel
sorry,
shows
but were
up.
the mines even safe without the serial killer?
No, who's going into
No,
a mine
they're not.
anyway?
They are not safe.
Who's going into a mine? I don't think so.
No.
And we have like a Sophie's Choice Sydney Prescott moment where it's like, shoot me, no, shoot me. And Axel's like, shoot both of us. Boom, chicka, wow, wow.
Oh, Axel was so
When there's
redeemed by this
A
point.
tiny
He
little,
wasn't.
a tiny little slip up. Oopsie la la.
Oh,
Tom
Yeah.
reveals that,
Yep.
you know,
Megan's
That
dead.
Megan's dead.
he saw Megan's death. But how would he know if he was in hospital?
Mhm.
Oh dear.
We come to the revelation
Stupid Tom.
that Tom is Harry.
Oh,
But this is where I bought him. I was like, yeah, I as a killer, as this guy who has like mental trauma and like is trying to do it. This is by the halfway point I was with Jensen. I was like, yeah, cool. You're actually really good in this movie. First part I didn't believe you.
I mean, as soon as they
Second
reveal,
part of the movie, I was like, yeah, okay, cool. I'm
as
down.
soon as they reveal he was in a mental hospital, you know he's the killer because
Well, of
that's
course.
the thing.
Because
horror
it's
movie.
it's a hangover of the 80s horror, isn't it? Anyone who's been in a mental institution,
Yep.
big
Crazy.
trouble. Unless you,
Like
Unless you're-
Buffy.
that's who I was going to say. Unless you're Muffy St. John,
Oh my god, that's
but that's okay.
still
We
gotta
love
get that
Muffy
name
St.
changed
John.
through.
We love Muffy St. John.
We love Muffy.
We do. She's the party girl to end all party girls.
Yep.
So, as part of his PTSD, he has developed. I guess we're supposed to believe a multiple personality that is Harry. It's not a It's not a
Yeah.
supernatural.
It's not
moment.
supernatural.
No, it's not a supernatural. Haha, ding ding. It's not a supernatural moment where
I think
you
the
know.
trauma fracture is sort of his
He
way of like,
fractured,
taking control again. Yeah.
Yes. So we get some big juicy flashbacks of everything of Tom in the woods digging up Harry's corpse, or more costume, I guess, and him at the scenes of crimes. And he seems
Locking
to,
himself in the mine
yeah,
when he was
he
attacked.
seems to split like this. He seems to return to himself after the violence happens. So I guess it's unexpressed rage is what we're trying to direct. That Harry's his rage that he can't cope with, and his rage and his anger, and then once that's expressed, he disappears.
Yeah.
But anyway,
And
after
kill
a
truckers
struggle,
and naked chicks.
Axel gets a pickaxe to the gut. Tom gets shot. and then a bullet strikes the fuel tank, which explodes. Because it was a 3D movie, so there had to be at least one explosion. Let's be honest. At least. Sarah Askew. Sarah Askew.
And we're not talking about the scene with
I'm
Frank
having
and
a really
Irene, are we?
rough day today. Sorry. Sarah and Axel are rescued from the room, which results in a cave-in, which once again means Harry Warden is trapped beneath the surface in Harmony. Or is he? As the final reveal that Harry escapes. Now, I feel like this is very Anthony Perkins Psycho, right? Which is what it says here. Yeah?
It says, can we just take a minute to appreciate Jensen's acting here? 1 second, he's Tom, above, hurt and shocked. The next second, he's Harry, below, evil, psycho. It's quick, it's subtle, but
it is very end of Psycho. I would even kill this fly. Like, good face acting.
Yeah, right.
Like, good face acting is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Now, if you stick with if you actually stick all the way through the titles, which I did last night, Harry slowly makes his way up through the mines that attacks you at the end of the title sequence. So, I like that they've actually used the title sequences in this to, have some kind of effect and some kind of story. We got a whole lot of exposition, and we get the fact that, this isn't over. As Luke was saying, this movie was made for $14 million, and total box office came to $119.9 million. Now, Todd did a fairly extensive interview with Bloody Disgusting in 2020, where he outlays a sequel that picks up pretty much straight away. The article is fairly long because they must have done the script hardcore, because he goes through the story quite specifically, that everyone that was in the first movie that survived to be in it, including Jensen's character. So it was meant to turn even more psychological. So we'll see what happened. But they were saying, Todd said that had a bad run. They put everything into the marketing of this film, and the marketing was great for it. It opened great. It opened strong. I remember that Friday night, one of the execs with us was all smiles, said something along the lines of, "This is great. I have a job on Monday." So there was speculation that they never actually intended for it to have a sequel, which is stupid. In 2009.
Yeah, you got a movie that's doing Scream money.
When they were remaking classic horror movies, I feel like there's more to it, and it does go in that article that the guy running Lionsgate at the time was not a horror fan, so he didn't believe that horror was, profitable. But if you want to find out,
119 million, bub.
Yeah, I know.
That's profitable.
If you want
100 million plus on the budget
for a movie that was based on a gimmick, that's good takings. But if you want to find out more, just go Google is your friend. My Bloody Valentine 3D Part 2, a bloody disgusting interview, which is very, very long. Todd goes into detail about what happens to each character. There are not many survivors at the end of it. So, there was intended to be a sequel. Now, in the reality of things, too, today's climate being what it is, there's actually been talk about a sequel to the original My Bloody Valentine happening with the success of David Gordon Green's Halloween, and of course now Scream's joined the zeitgeist of things.
I'd watch it. I'm into it.
One of the reports I read is that they were going to kind of mention Todd's version as well as having actually happened somewhere else, so that this spirit or whatever ties it in. So we could be seeing more My Bloody Valentine in the future, so who knows. But
I did read too, one of the hiccups with the sequel was that there was a bit of conflict over which direction the sequel to that 80s film was going to go. And someone wanted it to be very much the teen slasher, so it would mimic Friday and Halloween. And the creator was like, no, the whole point that my film is different is because it's about adults living this like mundane life with this shit happening around them, and that's why it had that different feel. So
it wasn't a teen slasher.
It had. So I think it became in limbo then because of the conflict of creative interest.
It's a very interesting little anomaly for that remake era that was slowly dying out and losing steam, because it wasn't a bad film. It was just probably bad timing for it to be released. Had it been released 2 years earlier, when we were, neck deep in like what, The Hills Have Eyes and Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Halloween and all that classic stuff getting remakes, we could have possibly seen a sequel, but I think it was just a bit too little too late. But it is a great little anomaly that's still a good watch. Like, I really enjoyed rewatching it. I hadn't watched it for years. Like, I have it on DVD somewhere, or Blu-ray somewhere.
It's definitely one of the better remakes, for sure.
And if you want something, creepy to whack on with your lover at Halloween, Halloween, Jesus Christ, and Valentine's Day. The horror of Valentine's Day. You could do worse. You know what I mean? You could do worse. So
I've got enough horror happening on Valentine's Day because I'm getting another year older and it's not good.
So, out of 5 bloody pickaxes, what do we think we are going to give My Bloody Valentine 2009? Brooke!
Oh no, don't go to me first.
Yay!
Yes, do
Yay!
No, look, I enjoyed it for what it was, and I really want to rewatch it a couple more times to come to a proper decision. But right now, I'll give it 3.5. Only because I haven't really had a chance to overanalyze it the way I like to. So
that's okay. 3.5 out of 5 bloody pickaxes from Brooke. Katie McCarthy.
Similar. 3.5 out of 5. I think it's a lot of fun. I think it's effective. I think the 3D is fun without being hokey, because it's a really fine line when you have a 3D horror movie. It's either going to be really, really kind of gimmicky, or it's going to be good. And I think this did a really nice job, and Todd Farmer ass. 3.5 out of 5.
You get it. You get that booty everywhere.
Booty rocking everywhere.
Okay. Wookie.
Look, I'm going to, for simplicity's sake, I'm going to give it the same score. But I do think, though, it's a solid remake. It's not, the gimmicks are there, and you can tell, like, okay, there goes the eyeball, rah, rah, rah. But it was done in a way that it was fun without being too stupid. Like, you still had your suspense, you still had your chase scenes, and you still had the mystery. So I think it worked well, and it was a fun ride. They did well with it, and it looked great for a $14 million budget. I mean, we talk like $40 million is change, but in Hollywood it is.
For a movie, it's
and
small.
It looked pretty. They did well with the production.
Look, I'm going to agree with you guys. I'm going to say 3.5. Just for, again, nice.
Didn't even have to retype nothing. Look at me,
right? How good was it? I appreciated what Todd's script was trying to do. As we talked about, I really like that kind of. I'm a bit of a sucker for that kind of small town secrets, multi-generational.
I know, like I know you did last summer stuff. Yeah.
Like I'm kind of a big sucker from that. I think that's from watching Twin Peaks when I was a child. It's kind of stuck in there. But the Twin Peaks light nature of it, and the fact that the gimmick of the 3D wasn't telegraphed so obviously, like it is in something like Friday the 13th Part 3, where it's like, ooh, like it.
Here
obviously,
comes the popcorn.
Technology has come a long way. We're not randomly juggling for some reason. Like, it's the 3D serves the purpose of the movie. So watch it, check it out. Obviously, we've enjoyed it. Todd Todd rarely steers us wrong, so thank you, Mr.
He really
Farmer,
does.
for this one. I would
I've got
like,
some fun facts if you.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, well, speaking of our pal, Todd Farmer, there is a lot of rumors on the internet that Todd wrote that nude scene so he could spend some time with Betsy naked, but actually it was her that suggested the nudity. And I think she did such a great job that you kind of like didn't focus on the fact that she was fully nude.
I did.
I mean, you knew she was nude, but like you're not like so like.
Look,
bored
if
by
I
her
look like
performance.
that, that's banging. As if you would want that immortalized on screen forever. Like, I was this hot once.
I'm just saying,
I would
like
run
you're not so
around-
bored by her performance that you're like, oh, at least she's naked. She did a good job.
And she can run in heels. Like, she's getting some
Girl
speed
can
in them
run
heels.
She did fantastic. This was almost banned in Australia. I'm sure you guys knew that
Rating. Yep.
because it was so gory. It was fantastic.
They were very
and
sensitive about the R-rated stuff that around that time.
And I think and having a nude woman getting murdered, like a sexualized violence too, is a big no-no.
It happened around the time of Hannibal. Because I remember seeing Hannibal on screen the day
That was a hard R too.
No, the day it came out, it was MA15 plus.
Oh my
the
God.
week after, it was R-rated, so I wouldn't have been able to see it.
Yeah.
So eating them brains.
Around that time, I think like we got very conservative about what we were seeing on screen.
Okay.
Yeah,
well,
no titties allowed here, people. No
if
titties
you made
allowed
it this
here.
far, I'm about to spoil the 1981 movie for you. So,
How dare you?
so unless you are well versed in horror like this gang is, you wouldn't know that there were two different killers in the 1981 film. Axel is the killer.
Yeah, Axel is the killer, yeah.
Mm-hmm. But we gave it to old Tom this time.
We like to spice it up a little bit.
I liked that. This was filmed in Pennsylvania. Actually, that's kind of Todd will have to confirm this, but that's a big reason why Tom Atkins was in it, because he lived in Pittsburgh at the time. And Pennsylvania has tax incentives for movies to be filmed there. Another
Very much
popular,
like Australia. Come to Australia, film your life away.
another popular movie was filmed in this location. It was The Mothman Prophecies. I don't know if anyone
Great
else saw
movie.
that.
I
Very
love
good.
that movie.
Very, very good.
Love that movie.
And
So creepy.
my final fun fact is this was actually made into a Halloween Horror Nights at Universal.
Good. That would be a good Halloween Horror Nights, I reckon.
That would have been cool.
Terrifying.
Who would love to be chased by minor 49er, hey? Good times. All right, well, guys, thank you for joining us. We're not going to hold you back on this day full of love because, you might want to chase your loved one around in a mining outfit,
Or maybe you want to.
Or you may want to run
Role
around
play a
naked in
bit.
your
I was
heels,
going to
yeah.
say, you should run naked through the streets in heels.
You might want to throw a gun at someone's head. Whatever you want to do, whatever keeps the love in your heart, keep it up. Thank you for joining us for this Uncensored Horror Valentine's Day special. And we'll see you again really, really soon. Lots of love from us and keep it creepy.
Bye.
Bye.